everyone. Welcome to the first session of Research in Daily Life 1. I'll be discussing the first topic, which is nature of inquiry and research. Let's start with our session learning targets for this session. At the end of the session, you're expected to describe characteristics, purposes, processes, ethics, and nature of research. You're also expected to explain the importance of research in daily life. And lastly, you are expected to accomplish written worksheets for this session. Let's start with the first idea. What's the difference between inquiry and research? Inquiry from the word inquire and research which is composed of the prefix re and then search. So what are the similarities and differences of the two concepts? Inquiry meaning to inquire, to ask questions, to investigate, while research is to search again. Okay? So both of them includes inquiry-based learning. When we say inquiry-based learning, inquiry is a learning process that motivates you to obtain knowledge or information about people, things, places, or events. So, inquiry allows you to obtain information regarding a particular topic, a particular person, object, place, or events. Another is that inquiry is a problem solving technique since it involves thinking logically or systematically to seek evidence. So when we say problem solving technique, we use inquiry to investigate, to think of solutions logically or systematically so that we can solve a particular problem. Inquiry-based learning also involves inquisitive thinking. When we say inquisitive thinking, it allows us to shift our thinking from one level of idea to another level of idea. So, for example, if you're reading a particular article, the information that you got from the article also allows you to create your own new knowledge or information based on the article that you have read. So that means you are performing inquisitive thinking. You are shifting from one level of thought to another level of thought. Now, how come that research will be different to the concept of inquiry? Now, research is actually similar or analogous to inquiry because research also involves investigation of something through questioning. So, we conduct our research by asking questions also. We conduct interviews, we conduct survey questionnaires. So, in that way, you are also conducting inquiry because you are questioning something. You are questioning the people regarding something. According to Lichman in 2013, research is a process of executing various mental acts for discovering and examining facts and information to prove the accuracy or truthfulness of your claims. So according to Lichman, research has several mental acts. When we say several mental acts, meaning our minds are performing different processes in order to discover and examine facts and information. So it's not just one time, big time process. Research involves various mental processes so that we can prove the truthfulness, so we can prove the accuracy of our claims by gathering, discovering, analyzing, and interpreting various facts and information. However, research will be different to inquiry because research carries out various research stages. So when we say research stages, the concept of research is composed of different stages. So we perform different stages in order to finish, in order to come up with a research study. Now, each stage is not an individual task, but may also come from other people, which makes it a cooperative learning. So, this is how research will be different to inquiry because each stage is not only performed by an individual, it can also be performed by other people because, number one, you have your respondents. So, the respondents will also help you gather information. They will also help you as a researcher to get information from these people. So in that way, research becomes collaborative. It becomes cooperative because it's not just a work of a single person, but it's a work of two or more people. Now, I want you to pause in this moment and then ask this question to yourself. What qualities should a young researcher like you possess? Since you're ABM students, you are young students, you're the future businessmen, entrepreneurs, accountants, you're the future lawyers, teachers, communicators, broadcasters. So in one way or another, in your future profession, you will be encountering different forms of research. So, as early as now, I want you to ask this question. What qualities should you possess? Now, I want you to list down all the qualities that you think you should possess as a researcher, and then post these qualities that you think of in your Facebook account, and you have to tag me in your post so that I would know your answers. Now let's proceed to the characteristics of research. What makes research research? What makes it unique to other forms of inquiry? Now research possess various characteristics such as accuracy, objectiveness, timeliness, relevance, clarity, and systematic. Now let me start with accuracy. When we say accuracy, when we conduct our research, as much as possible, we make sure that our facts, our information are accurate. When we say accurate, it should be truthful. It should not be lies. It should not be fake. So everything that we present in our research should be based on facts. It should be accurate so that our readers will be informed very well of how your research went. Okay. What else? This is especially important to medical research, to research that involves justice, that to research involves with numbers, right? Everything should be accurate as possible. The next characteristic of research is objectiveness. When we say objectiveness, your research should be impartial. When we say impartial, you are not taking sides with any of your respondents. You, as a researcher, should also be objective. You should be fair in treating both your respondents and the information that you got out of your research. So when we say objectiveness, your research should not be opinionated. It should not take sides. It should not be partial to a specific group of people. So that's how we maintain the objectiveness of our research study. The next characteristic we have here is timeliness. When we say timeliness, the topic that we chose for our research should be timely. It should be applicable to the present condition of our society. Okay? We should not be conducting something that happened thousands of years ago. We should be conducting a topic that is timely, that is applicable to the present times. Okay? For example, if we're experiencing a pandemic right now, what topics you could choose that is relevant or that is timely to what we are suffering now. So that is what we call timeliness. We make sure that the topic that we chose is applicable to the present conditions of our society, which is also related to the fourth characteristic of research, which is relevance. When we say relevance, the topic of our research should have importance to the society, should have importance to our school, to your life as a person. So that is what we call relevance. There should be significance of why you are conducting such topic in your research. It should it should yield importance to not just to you but to people around you, to the society where you belong, and maybe to the nation or to the world where we belong. That is what we call relevance. Now, when we say clarity as a characteristic of research, when we say clarity, especially in our language, we should be able to use language in a clear manner when writing our research. Remember that research writing is academic writing. When we say academic writing, you are not using the figurative language. You are not using the flowery words. You are not using figures of speech. Instead, when we say academic writing, everything should be direct to the point. Everything should be straightforward. So, as much as possible, we use familiar words. We use formal words because research writing is also a form of a formal writing. So we have to achieve formality when it comes to our language, when it comes to our vocabulary, when it comes to our choice of words when we write our research. Clarity should also promote accuracy because the more clear you present your ideas, that means the more accurate your information is in your research. Lastly, we have systematic as a characteristic of research. When we say systematic, we are following a step-by-step procedure of conducting a research. So we do not jump from one step to another. We have to perform each stage of research writing. So, for example, if right now what we're doing is gathering background information regarding your topic, we cannot just jump into interviewing other people for data collection because that is another stage in the research. So we have to be systematic. We have to follow an organized approach, an organized manner in conducting research study. Okay? Now, let's proceed to the purposes of research. When we say purposes, why are we conducting research? Why should we conduct research in our daily life? Why should we research on something on a day-to-day basis? Number one is we conduct research in order to foster independence. When we say fostering independence, the fact that you are able to research on your own means that you have that sense of independence to yourself. So, when we say fostering independence, conducting a research promotes that sense of independence. You are relying to yourself, especially when choosing a topic, when conducting data collection, when gathering related literature. If you are able to do them on your own, that means you have achieved that sense of independence when conducting a research. Another purpose is to work systematically or scientifically. Again, let's go back to the characteristic of research that is systematic. So, if you're following a systematic approach, meaning you're also working systematically, you are working scientifically because you are following a specific, organized, various stages in research writing. So, it allows us to function, to work systematically in an organized manner. Another purpose is to gain in-depth knowledge. When we say in-depth knowledge, you're gaining a deeper understanding, a deeper knowledge regarding the topic that you chose. For example, if I'll be researching about discrimination, The fact that I am researching a lot of information means I can also be able to gain deeper understanding of what discrimination is, of the different forms of discrimination, of how people are being affected by discrimination. So it's about gaining a more comprehensive knowledge because we conduct our research. Another purpose of research is to promote higher order thinking skills. When we say higher order thinking skills, this is a level of thinking skills wherein we are already independent. We are already performing critical thinking, creative thinking. So research allows us to develop those kind of thinking skills. When we say higher order thinking skills, for example, if I am presented with two articles regarding my topic and then I have read those two articles, one higher order thinking skill that I can apply is to compare and contrast the two articles. So if you are able to compare and contrast two articles, that means you are already performing higher order thinking skills. Another example, um, if you are searching in Google and there is a lot of results regarding your topic, the fact that you are able to evaluate which information is credible, which information is accurate, that means you are already performing higher order thinking skills. Another example that I can give you is when you are able to formulate new knowledge out of the articles that you have read, meaning you are able to synthesize information, that is also a form of higher order thinking skills. So, conducting a research enables us to develop these thinking skills, which are higher order thinking skills. So, by the end of this subject, I hope that you are able to develop, cultivate, enhance, enrich your higher order thinking skills because when you go to college, when you go to work, you can still apply these higher order thinking skills. Another purpose of research is to enhance reading and writing skills. So for UNS 12, you have taken this subject, right? Reading and writing skills. For ABM grade 11, I think you will be taking reading and writing next semester. But now that you are taking research, it also opens opportunities to develop our reading and writing skills. For example, reading skills in English, right? You have learned in English different reading skills. For example, getting the main idea, getting the thesis statement, getting the supporting details. Those are examples of reading skills. Skimming and scanning are also examples of reading skills. When we say skimming and scanning, they are different. When we say scanning, you are specifically looking for an information. Okay, for example, if I want to get the meaning of a word, I'll just get a dictionary and scan for that specific word. That is what we call scanning. When we say skimming, you are you are identifying the general idea, the gist of a particular article. So skimming and scanning are also type of reading skills. How about writing skills? In English also, we have learned different writing skills. For example, writing the thesis statement, writing a hypothesis, writing an essay, writing the introduction, body, and conclusion, which can also be applicable to this subject, which is research. Okay, so when we conduct research, we are also enabling ourselves to develop our reading and writing skills. Lastly, we conduct research in order to familiarize with the tools and techniques of research. When we say tools and techniques, there are specific techniques that we use in conducting our research. For example, what research design are you using in your research? What citation, what style of citation are you using in your research? Or what type of conceptual or theoretical framework are you using in your research? Those are examples of tools and techniques. Or what instruments will you be using in order to gather information from your respondents that can also be part of tools and techniques of research that we will be learning as we go along in this subject. Now, for your written work, I want you to accomplish the worksheet that I attached in the Genio Learning Package. The file name is Worksheet 1. Now, I want you to complete that worksheet, and then I want you to convert the worksheet into a PDF file, and then you send that to my Gmail that I indicated here. And then always label your email with a particular title. In the email, in the Gmail, there is what we call their subject. And then you put in the subject worksheet 1 underscore RIDL so that I could monitor your progress, so that I could monitor the submission of each student. Okay, so another one that I will be asking you to do is to do this exit ticket. If you have Twitter accounts, I want you to post a tweet regarding on how research can bring positive impacts to yourself or to your society. Now, I want you to use the hashtags research for life and research for all, and I want you to tag me so that I could also check your exit ticket on Twitter. Okay?